Alright guys, it's another video from the White Shorts Club. Alright, I know we missed last week, we don't talk about that, but like we said in our Hello Happy World video, this time we're coming around with the Afterdeck profile, Afterglow deck profiles. After deck glow profiles, yo. But yeah, but I mean, granted, Afterglow is kind of a meme, but you know?
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's kind of a meme, yeah.
I mean, let's just take a look at a couple of decks, just see what they have.
Yeah.
Just investigate what's in there. So, starting off with our Zero Line Kaichou, what do we got?
You have your classic $15 Umori runners. Not gonna say anything about that. It's your free runner, and its alarm is if it starts at the top of your clock, beginning of your climax phase, choose one of, or beginning of the climax phase, choose one of your characters. That character gets the following ability. When this card's battle opponent becomes reverse, you may put the top part of your opponent's clock into the waiting room and put that character in your clock.
So
it's
kind of
basically it's hard removal.
Yeah, I mean, clock controlling is kind of like a pretty useful thing to do, because in Band League, I imagine most people are going to be playing like Roselia, so they might play the 3-2 early play package, so...
Yeah, you just knock that 3-2 out of their clock real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty spicy. And it's also both players' climax phase, so you can do that on their turn too, if they're going to crash something in.
Plus, since this is a free runner, you get that option of choosing whether or not like the effect goes off or not in the early game. So that's pretty useful. Actually, not that bad.
Good utility card.
Next up, we got the Tomoe Brainstormer. It's tap 2, I believe, to search for music.
Yeah, it's tap to search for music and begin your climax phase. If you have a character with alarm on the top of your clock, you can choose one of your Afterglow characters and give it 1500 power.
I mean, 1500 power is nothing to sneeze at, though.
Yeah, it's not. Sometimes you don't have alarm, and it's unlucky.
But usually you're clocking, and you're usually putting the alarm in as it is. So as long as
basically you can't ever clock a climax usually.
Yeah. But it's not bad.
But it's your standard Brainstormer.
Next up,
we probably play it at 3 if you really want to.
Oh, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
But next up, we got the Himari from the Multi-Live. We got on play. You can top check if
this is the new set.
Oh, it's from set 2?
It's Volume 2, yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
If it's top check, if it's music character, add pitch, so good filter, and then the clock effect is if your opponent uses a brainstorm, you can choose one of your opponent's level 0 or lower characters, and that can't stand during the next stand phase.
Yeah, honestly, this card is just up to preference. You have the one from Volume 1, which does the same top check add pitch effect, but its alarm is give a character 2k, I believe, or something like that. So it gives power, which I don't think you really need in this deck. Maybe you want to bump your Minamis up later, but I think Minamis are already big enough that you can probably play this since there are a lot of tap self Brainstormers.
Yeah.
Family.
I mean, you could also like play around with the ratios between the two, because if you like clock this and then like you just sit on it on the next going into your opponent's turn, they just kind of can get stunted out of some plays potentially. So
yeah,
it's a good way of trolling the opponent, that's for sure. All right, next up we got the Ron level 0 clock bomb. So when it's reversed, level 0 or lower, put the opponent's character in the clock and take the top card of their clock in the waiting room. Switch the way I worded that. And then clock effect, you can give a character Twin Drive, the pay 1 to perform trigger check twice. Comes in handy, like once in a blue moon?
Once you want to pay out that climax, if you really, if you blind stock one, you might just want to pay it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there for a 500 power bomb and another alarm to play in your deck.
I mean, 500 power bomb, the hardest thing to play around in the game.
Yeah, that's how you out Sayo in Roselia.
Priority is good, dude.
Yeah, like Sayo can out herself, but Ron can also out Sayo.
Yeah. And then I think the last card is the Ron PR from the first set, which could become a PR in Band League, but you
don't add us.
Don't add us. Man was a mad genius. But pay 1, pitch 1 on play, look at up to 3, add any to your hand. Helps you get your climaxes. Helps you get pretty much anything that you need at a given time. Good
Grab the
card.
events later.
Exactly. Good card.
Yep, free hand filter. Yep.
All right. So going on to level ones. Our main level one is the Minami combo. During your turn, if everyone's green, she gets 2k, so 6-5. And then it's what, a split 2k one, I believe?
Split 2k1. Yep.
Yeah. So can become 8-5 on attack. 10k if you have an alarm at the top. Could get huge.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty big, guaranteed.
But yeah, the Minam Climax combo on reverse, look it up to 4, add a music, add one, and then give someone 2k. Standard Minami, but
Solid profile for this deck.
it's nothing too crazy, but like
Yeah. It just gets huge, which is pretty nice.
it guarantees that she goes off, which is
Yeah,
like
the first one
really
goes
nice.
off, which means the second one will go off.
We don't talk about the third one, but
The third one's
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
What do we have next? We got the Tomoe?
Yeah, we got. We got
Or
the
no,
Ron
the
from
Ron.
Multi-Live.
Oh, is this from the
It's
multi-live?
Multi-Live. Yeah. It's
Alright.
basically your standard beater. On attack, gains 500 every other music character. On attack with the gold bar, which is the same combo as the Mocha, we'll talk about later. She gains 1k, and on reverse, you get a blind stock 1. So it's just a secondary climax combo, and you can get a more stock for the late game.
It's not bad. Also helps you synergize with the Twin Drive Ron, since you can, like you said, you could pay out the blind stock.
Yeah, and then she's also just a beat stick, 6-5 on a full board. It's pretty
Yeah.
nice.
7-5 with the climax.
Yeah.
Huge, actually.
And then you have your level 1 Tomoe clock bombs. Well, she only gets the clock bomb ability. You got 2 or more other music characters, which is kind of relevant, maybe.
I mean,
she's-
it'll come into play at some point, but usually you aren't worried about it.
Yeah, she's a cost 0 clock bomb, so it's very nice. So those
Hard removal for like fever, just annoying pieces that you don't
just
want to
big
see.
stuff, but those 1/1s, yeah, you can't deal with those 1/1s. It's not too bad, and her alarm is beginning of either player's climax phase. You can choose a character and give it hand on court.
More
So
filters.
it's going to be used great offensively and defensively, just to protect your characters.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have the other 1-0 Tomai. She's when your other Ron, the early plate Ron, which we'll talk about in a bit, is played. It gets 1500, and then you can stick her into stock. She also is on play. You can pitch a card to bond to the early play Ron, so guaranteed, as long as it's in the waiting room.
Yep.
And then clock, if you have 4 or more music characters, sort of relevant. You can draw 2, pitch 2.
Just a hand filter for your climaxes, or just if you want to mill through your deck a little more.
I mean, it helps you if you happen to have 3 Sugumis and you're just like, wait, I need the climax.
Oh yeah. Also note that this effect is mandatory, so even if you don't need the effect, you still have to activate it if she's at the top of your clock.
Yeah.
So
That's
sometimes you just draw 0, ditch 2. You know, kind of lucky.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes you clock her and you draw the climax. You're like, well, let me clock fix out of this real quick.
It's go time.
Yeah.
All right. To close out our level 1s, we have the Himari backup. 1500
backup. The backup is not really relevant because your stuff is pretty small defense. And she's mainly there for the alarm effect. If she's at the top of your clock, at the beginning of your main phase, you can choose a character from your waiting room in this card and swap them. So she's basically any other alarm that you want. So it just gives you more.
Wait, this is just shift, but it's on a clock effect.
Yeah, it's shifted from waiting room, not from hand though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but like she's just any other card that you want. It's like playing Terraforming Yu-Gi-Oh.
Sometimes you just gotta do with it.
Yeah, it's consistency. And maybe if your opponent swings with a 5k beater like Yukin or something, you know, you can just counter over that.
You never know when 1500 power comes in handy. Like
Yeah, maybe in the late game it'll matter with your early plays.
Yeah. Let's see. The last one is pay 1. Is this Tsugumi who's on play, pitch 1, sack
Or clock the Himari.
Himari. Oh,
Yeah, Himari runner from your waiting room. And
Choose.
then you gotta choose the music character on the clock, turn the hand, and this card gets 2k. So it's basically, it guarantees you an alarm. It allows you to hand filter, it's a beater, and you can clock fix.
Okay. I mean, the catch is that you have to put the Himari in first. So just don't do this at zeros at x6, dude.
Yeah, if you do X6, you're an 81. But you can't even do it. Yeah,
So we don't talk about that, but
yeah don't do it when you're at 6. You're just killing yourself.
yep. All right. So we got some level 2s. We got Kaichou's favorite Himari here. So relevant effects that's actually relevant because we have green. She's an early play clock bomb, so helps you remove Yukinas, standbys, pastel.
Opposing Afterglow Braum players,
Pretty much good. Your anti early play removal option,
a
and
hard removal.
the real reason why most people play this card. The alarm effect is that if you have 4 or more music characters at the beginning of climax phase, you can send the top card of your deck to your stock. Helps you add additional stock generation. Helps you get your late game pieces out there.
Yeah, still blind stock climax.
We didn't talk.
Or you can just twin drive it out.
Gee, wait, you can't you can't twin drive and have Himari in the clock at the same time.
True, we're not Hello Happy. We don't have twin drive on top of our cards.
Yeah, unfortunate.
But yeah, blind stock effect is really nice.
Yeah.
I actually like that blind stock effect.
I mean, a lot of people do. That's why they try and splash Himari even in like regular builds.
Yeah, in any deck, just splash for the blind stock.
Next up, we got the Mocha, who, if you have the early play Ron, gives global 500. Also a level assist to the front, and a brainstorm tap 2 to salvage a character.
Yeah, you have salvage and search.
At the cost of resting too, so you kind of pick
Yeah,
which
you
one
choose
you
one or
prefer
the
to
other.
do.
But yeah, she's mainly there just to be like power for your Ron to stick.
Yeah, but she's
Not too
not bad.
Yeah.
Last level 2 card to talk about is the 2/3 event. If you have 5 or more Afterglow characters, so you need to have a full board, relevant.
Relevant.
You
Not that crashing in.
yeah. You can choose an opponent's character and rest it, so it's a rest counter. Pretty
That's
standard.
rest counter. Utility for Afterglow. Privilege.
I mean, sometimes it comes in handy. After you play Mocha, you're like, wait, I don't want to take this damage yet.
Yeah. And then playing Mocha, you're gonna have a lot of stock anyways, because she's just very costless. So you can just like pay this and then rest to their Yukina or something. So you just dodge that burn.
Yep. But then they swing with like cost me burners, and then the last card left is the or no, they swing with the cost me top check burner, and you just have to take it.
Popping Party's the only way that could deal with like events and stuff like this. But
Yeah.
most of the other decks, yeah.
Oh, actually, no. Hello Happy World can, because Hug Me just says,
they just bounce
put that
it,
back.
Yeah, they bounce your board. You can't even play this event.
Yeah, the event's dead. All right, moving on to level 3s. Kaichou, you want to explain why Mocha is a terrible card to play on Discord Weiss?
First of all, let's talk about Mocha. So Mocha is on attack with the gold bar. You can look the top 2 of your opponent's deck. You can choose up to 2. Put them into the waiting room and leave the rest of the top of the deck in any order. Then do the same for your own deck. And then she has beginning of your Anchor phase to turn this card's play. You heal the top of your card into the waiting room, so it saves their alarm for the turn. So this card, people love it in English apparently. It's like $30 in English. I don't understand why. Also, Mocha's known to have a 99% chance to cancel if you see 2 clean cards on 3. Like, it just always happens. Like, I don't know why. And then if you like remove a climax, opponent just cancels it too. So you're like, okay, great card. The one good thing about her is she's cheap and she's a really good precise finisher in your like game. So your opponents are like 3/3, 3/4. You can really guarantee the kill, like just by siding, guarantee that damage, and it'll always stick. And for Discord wise, dude, oh man, if you're trying to play Mocha on Discord wise and you're trying to look at 2 of your opponent's cards, It's a little awkward.
Yeah, like you have to like grab the two cards. You have to show your opponent the card on the left, the card on the right. You have to look away, and then the Mocha player has to tell them which one to pitch. It's a
Yeah,
clown
it's
fiesta,
just bad.
but
But
Mocha's
yeah,
not a bad
she's not
combo.
a bad finisher. It's just sometimes you lose the variance roll, and your opponent just cancels.
I will say
But
though, in band league, she might be pretty solid considering that not that many decks will have outs to like compression games since they don't have.
yeah, they're not usually. Only Popping has a refresh counter, so they're the only ones that can able to like
Hey,
do
wait,
something. And
Pastel.
out a lot. Oh yeah, Pastela too. But yeah, those two decks can do it.
So there's some options
She's a good
to,
finisher, but I don't think she's good enough for the competitive play.
even though she's still $30 for some unknown
Yeah,
reason.
for some reason
Because,
you can it's 45, but that's understandable.
well, I mean, Yukina makes sense because she actually finishes the game. Mocha kind
Yeah,
of sits
she's.
there and is like, maybe this finishes.
I think Mocha is meant for like the 2-turn kill. So like ideally you play Mocha and you still have like 6 stock left at the end of the turn,
Yeah,
and then you ideally stack the climax on the last Mocha attack, so you cancel that one, and maybe you take like a few damage and you live, and then you pay 3 to encore, draw the bar again, and you do it again for the kill. But yeah, I think that's too slow,
yeah,
and you're not able to like, kill fast enough. And if Mocha behind is really bad too, because you don't actually have the damage output to catch up.
yeah. But that's why we have a little bit of other top end with
Yeah.
our Mocha. So starting off, we got the Ron. So she's got on attack, you can pay 1, mill 3. Uh, mill
Well,
3
we have to talk
cards.
about the early play first.
Oh, wait, yeah. Whoops.
Order.
Order. Alright, let me try that again. So that early play Ron that we were alluding to like 3 cards back, yeah, we're talking about it now. So she's an early play if you have 2 or less climaxes in your waiting room. When she's played, if you have 2 or more other music characters on the board, you can choose a character in your clock and send it to memory. So heal the memory. Dodges Hibiki, quote unquote.
The doesn't exist, or the non-existing anti-heal.
Yeah, exactly. And she has Encore for pitch and Afterglow character. So
Best card in this deck.
there's a
Not
reason
only that,
why it's super value.
yeah,
So,
like
what, 20,
healing
I
from
think?
clock is just insane because like you can like refresh a Himari, right, and then you clock a card and you heal that card off, and your Himari is just insane.
Yeah. It
It's like
helps
free.
you just
Yeah, get your
remove
alarms
stuff.
off. Tier last climax is not too bad since you're playing Miyanami, so you're able to reset your deck pretty fast.
And even though she doesn't have like inherent power, the Afterglow Encore is pretty useful if you're playing like a mono Afterglow deck, because you
Yeah.
can just sit on Rons basically for the rest of the game until you get ready to play your Mochas and
Yeah,
try
and
and
even with
jam
the
it.
level 6, she's at level 5, so it's still decent power. Maybe that counter, 1500 counter will get.
Well, because the Mocha also gives an extra 500, so it's like what 11
Yeah, it's
5. You said the backup's 15, so it's like 13.
Oh yeah, 13. Yeah, 13 with the backup. It's kind of relevant.
It's pretty useful. You never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now we have the Ron Ricky effect.
So we got the Ron, who's on attack, pay 1, mill 3, top 3 cards of your deck. Deal damage equal to the number of alarms that you milled. So secondary finisher. It's actually pretty free considering that it's only pay 1. So if you attack with her second, then you're guaranteed to have it go off.
Yep. You run a decent amount of alarms. If you want to play more alarms, you can probably bump it up. You run about 20 alarms in this deck, so it's not too bad of a hit.
Probably burning like 1s and 2s most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time. You try to just level up your non-alarms too, so it increases that chance too.
Yep.
And then her alarm effects is beginning of your main phase. If this is at the top of your clock, you can play one or pay one, put the top of your clock at the bottom of your top of your deck at the bottom of your clock, and then you can search for an Afterglow card.
Basically, it makes it so that you don't get a second alarm effect to go off.
Or you don't screw up your alarm
Yeah, exactly.
by clocking that climax.
Well, because she has to be the top card anyway. So it's like,
Yeah,
imagine that you do the clock effect, the Ricky effect, and then you actually get the Himari on top, and it's just like, wait, I just paid for my
yeah,
effect essentially.
yeah,
Uh, Pretty good card actually.
yeah. Pretty good secondary card.
And our last card is this Mocha from the Multi-Life. On play, you can salvage a music character from waiting room, and then on attack, you can pay one, pitch in a character with alarm, and this character gets on reverse clock kick.
Yeah, so I like playing this card because she's a cantrip. She's on play salvage one. It's just a good card to grab your combo pieces, and then when you do get the clock kick effect off, it's very nice. If you have like 2-1 Mocha in the back, she's a 12k clock kicker, climax with 13. With like she's really decent power, and just being able to grab like your climax combo Mocha finishers from her is also pretty nice too.
I mean, what's pretty good about Afterglow is that they have really cheap top end. Like everything's like pay one or pay nothing basically to do effects.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah, you can just play a bunch of level 3s and not feel bad.
Yeah. I mean, our top end's what, like 11, 10 threes?
Yeah.
So.
And then like this Mocha clock kicker is not on turns played, so it's whenever she attacks, so you can just like put it in the back row, play it next turn or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty useful.
Pretty useful.
All right.
And then for climaxes, you play 4 that's like 2k1s and 4 of the bar standard.
Yep. All right. We also have a deck list involving some of the newer stuff. So, we have most of the same cards. So we still run the Himari free runners from the other deck. We still run the brainstorms.
Yeah, we ran it at 3 because we learned this time. But yeah, just 3 is fine for this deck.
Yeah. We run the Mocha that we were talking about earlier, the one where it's a top check filter.
Yep, and you have 3 more music kickers. Alarm, she can give 2k. You kind of need power in this deck since your top end is really small.
But like having additional top check filters is always good. We still run the 2 Ron clock bombs. We still run the 1 copy of the Ron PR, but new addition, we have this Tsugumi, E-level 0. First effect is Alarm. If she's top card of your deck and all your characters are Afterglow, you can give all your Afterglow characters get the ability pay 1 to look at the top of the opponent's deck and put it at the top or the bottom of their deck. Helps you pay out climaxes. Sometimes you can just like decide if you're swinging for 1.
Yeah, maybe. This effect is usually not relevant. It's her second effect and her like real play condition that she's meant for. So
Right.
her second effect is pay 1, pitch a card. Choose a card from your clock and add it to hand for the top card of your deck into your clock. So she's a clock filter, but she clock filters anything. So you can grab climaxes and events out of your clock.
Pretty useful stuff for when you refresh and you just see the gold bar like laying in front of your eyes and you're just like, wait, I need that.
You take that gold bar as a refresh, you know?
Exactly.
All part of the plan.
It's all coming together, dude.
Yeah.
Alright, so in terms of our level 1 game, we should talk about this Himari. Pretty simple. It's on attack with the Rock and Glow gold bar from the Multi-Live. You can choose a character with Alarm from your waiting room and put it into your stock. So it's a stock charging combo.
Yep.
Pretty simple
You don't really play other climax combos in this deck, so your level 1's pretty much just beaters and bombs at this point. Your level 1 is meant to like set up your stock so then you can pop off a level 2 and just grind game from there.
Yeah. So that's why we still run the 2 Tomoe cost 0 clock bombs. We still run the Tsugumis who help give you the salvage. Never play it at X6.
Yeah.
But a card worth talking about is from set 2. We have the Himari support. So it gives frontal 500 power. It has a climax combo that we don't really need to talk about because we don't run that gold bar,
Yep.
but it does have a pretty good effect. When your character's trigger check reveals a gold bar, you can pitch a card from your hand to waiting room, and you can clock fix. So
Clock extending card. So it's basically the Milky Holmes card.
yeah, it's the
And
Ellie.
since this deck is playing 8 bars too, so you're most likely going to trigger a bar a lot of the time.
It's pretty useful stuff because you can just pitch the gold bar that you just triggered to help
Instant hand filter.
get access to stuff in your clock.
Yep.
In terms of level 2 game, we still have the... Oh wait, no, we gotta talk about this Tsugumi first.
Yeah, so this one is your level assist. Its alarm is if you have 3 more characters, choose one of your characters get 2k, and it has tap. Look at the top of your deck, the top or bottom. So she's mostly here for the power, since also your level, like I said, your level 3 is really small. Alarm is 2k, and the rest effect sometimes is relevant if you want to like top check for damage, precise damage, since you don't have Mocha in this deck.
You never know. But other than that, we still run the Himaris for the blind stock. She's such a good card. And we still run 2 copies of the rest counter because we're playing Afterglow. So, rounded out, we have the level 3, the Ron. So, the early play condition we were talking about is to have the Tsugumi in clock. So, you can play her at level 2. If she's in center stage, all your music characters gets 1500 power, so global 15.
She's 11k base.
Pretty good. And then climax combo, when the gold bar is played, you can pay 2, and she's in center stage. You can pay 2, search for 2 Afterglow characters, and then play another copy of herself from your hand onto the stage, and then shuffle your deck. So, essentially, you pay 2 to grab her and a card that you want, and then get a second copy for on the board.
And then you have global 3k, so like everything's just huge.
Basically, once you hit level 2, that's when like the power numbers just get really insane.
Yeah, you're able to just like compress by searching out your deck and then sitting on these big walls, and you force your opponent to anti-change you, which they probably do, or they Hello Happy World just wins you, you know.
I mean, Hello Happy World wins you. Like, you should probably be able to break over most Popping Party standby boards with 2 Rons. Roselia, I guess you just hope they don't have like the counter or the Slayer.
Yeah. The Slayer, what is this, 12-5? If you have a level assist, maybe it's a
like,
little bigger.
You should be able to get, like...
Yeah.
Because then that's what the Himari backup can be for, is for that one lane.
Yeah, you can also like play a 2-1 backup if you really wanted to. Swap a card for that. Yeah. And then if you happen to stay at level 2 the next turn, and you're not out that many, you can go on to your other play healer.
Gives you a lot of options to do both, to do a lot of grind games with.
Yeah. Also, if you draw the bar again, you can just loop the combo again and get like more walls and search for your level 3 combo.
Yeah.
Which we don't play a lot of in this deck, which is the next card. It's the Tsugumi. She's on play from hand. Look it up to 3, add 1. And then at the beginning of your Encore phase, if you have the other gold bar, you can pay 1, pitch a card, and if this card is in your center stage and your opponent doesn't have any characters on their stage, or they reverse the fever effect, you can deal 1 damage to them and choose a character on their center stage and put it into their clock.
Something that I just noticed is that says choose, so anything that is hexproof is Little Monka S.
Yeah, GG for that, but there's not a lot of hexproof.
Thankfully, I don't think Band League has anything hexproof.
Yeah, it should be fine. So as you said, she gains no power from her climax combo or anything, so she's base 11k with the climax, so that's why you have your assist in the back row, and you have alarms that give like 2k and stuff for you to break your board, and then you have the run. Early play for the climax combo that you played at level 2 that gives global 15, which is more power for her to get off. And we only play 2 because you're never going to be able to tri-lane her because she's never going to break a board.
Like, she breaks the 1 lane, and then the idea is that you probably have like maybe double Ron, or maybe like one
It's like more Rons.
early. Like it's basically pick your choice between the other 7 Rons that are in your top end, and then
Yeah.
pray that you actually reverse everything.
Yeah, like if they counter one lane, you're kind of like screwed anyways. So
But I mean, that's why we aren't too worried about the
yeah,
Sugmi
you can also
beater.
just play the other bar on the Ron and just try and get there with compression.
Yeah.
Switch 2. It's not bad. And then we play 2 copies of the Ron Burner. It's just your secondary finisher in case they do live. And then you can always just play double Ron if you know you're not getting fever off. Anyways, just for some extra damage.
So it's kind of like there's a lot. It's a little more expensive in terms of like the mid game where you're paying 2 to do your Ron climax combo at level 2, but the idea is that you kind of sustain with compression and just by sitting on like really huge walls.
And
like
then you just
said.
rest counter them if you're really scared.
Yeah, exactly. Just rest counter that Yukina real quick.
Yeah, like ideally, you just stock charge a lot at level 1.
I mean,
your blind stocks.
It helps that since it's a double gold bar combo, so like if you ever trigger it, then you always know that the combo's live if your opponent can't break the board, or if your opponent doesn't have a means with answering like some of the cards that are sticking around, because there is a surprising amount of big beaters here and there in terms of like pumping 2k until cross turn because alarm is crazy like that.
Yeah.
What were they thinking? If this card's in either climax phase, hello?
Yeah, I mean, it's not pump power for either way. It's just like Encore and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Encore is also pretty relevant.
This deck rounds up with 22 Encore, 22 alarm targets. You play a little bit more, but because you're playing the other play Ron condition, so it's a little bit more. So your Ron burner might be a little bit more consistent around 2, just for some extra damage.
Yeah. All right. Well, that about does it for Afterglow. Overall, I mean, like, Afterglow, I feel like has a lot of good utility pieces because the alarm package itself has a lot of really good effects that you can work around. It's just that, like, obviously, because a lot of it is Afterglow locked, so you kind of have to play mono Afterglow to get the full effect. Plus, you don't really have a good, like, true finisher in Afterglow, since your options are either Mocha and pray that they don't cancel on 3, or Tsugumi, which is like a little Monka S.
Yeah, never going off.
But yeah, like
you don't have a lot of reach in this deck, but utility's there.
Like, during the early game, you definitely have a lot of things that you can do, especially since Alarm can snowball with some crazy shenanigans. But yeah, so that about does it for Afterglow. Next video, we're going to be talking about Roselia, and that'll round out the Band League series of deck profiles we've been doing. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. If you like this type of content, leave a comment, give us a like, subscribe, you know. Yeah, see you guys.
See ya.